Hi, it's Matt Green here. I am in beautiful St. George visiting one of our Keller Williams offices, and this is your 5-minute market update. So, in this month's 5-minute market report, we're going to talk about affordability. Really, this is the conversation that we should be having that we're not having. So, just a reminder that the Utah Association of Realtors puts out their report about 30 days after the end of the month. So, this is August 2017 data. It's the first week in October right now. These reports just came out. And if we take a look at just the data that we usually talk about briefly, transactions, median sales price, and the inventory, the story is pretty much the same. In fact, it just continues. This housing shortage continues. So you can see 1 year change in closed sales is basically flat. The median home price has increased 8.2% so far this year. And then when we look at the number of available homes on the market, we're down 15.9%. So the housing shortage continues, meaning there continues to be upward pressure on pricing. And certainly that's the experience we're seeing in the market. Now, it might be very easy for us to say, wow, prices are reaching all-time highs, and it just doesn't seem like it makes sense to buy right now. But that's just part of the question. In fact, the conversation that we really should be having is around affordability in many cases. And there's three things that impact affordability: prices, wages, and interest rates. We're going to talk about each of those three things just briefly today. So when we look at prices, yes, the median sales price has certainly increased for several years now. If we look at 2015 year over year, 5.8%, then 2016, 8.2%, and 2017, again, 8.2% across the state of Utah in price appreciation. And when we look at the trend over the last 11 years, certainly we're at all-time highs for the state of Utah in the median home price. So some people may be concerned about that and say, boy, this is not the right time to buy based on that information. But there are other factors that we forget to talk about. And one of those is wages growth and how it impacts affordability. Now, this is data, national data, that talks about wage growth. Now, keep in mind that this is different from job growth, which we see a lot of in the media, talking about the strong job growth here in Utah. That's different than wage growth. Wage growth is, if today it is $10 an hour to flip burgers, wage growth would mean that next year, if there was wage growth, it would be $12 an hour to flip burgers. So what we are interested in is wage growth, because wage growth makes things more affordable, certainly, or allows us to at least keep pace with the increasing costs of the things that are in our economy, including housing. So for many, many years, wage growth was flat or lagged behind here in the state of Utah. And that's really changed in the last 12 to 18 months. We are really starting to see wage growth increase, which increases our buying power. The third thing really is mortgage rates, and mortgage rates are incredibly low. This data here that you're seeing now is the last basically 45 years of data as it relates to mortgage rates. And you can see here, we have gone through this extended period of time, about 8 or 9 years, well below that historical average. So if we say the new average based on the last 20 or plus years is 6.4%, we're still in the kind of mid threes for mortgage rates. That makes home ownership very, very affordable compared to previous periods where interest rates are much higher. Now, if you look at this data, you can say that it's hard to bet against the fact or the likelihood that interest rates aren't going to raise over time. And when interest rates rise, things become less affordable. Homes become less affordable. The house that you can afford today either becomes out of reach or costs you more money. Or what likely happens is you'll spend the same amount of money, just not be able to get as nice a home. So we really put this data into a measurable index that we call the Housing Affordability Index. And this is the State of Utah House Affordability Index. And if you look at the previous 3 years, 2015, 2016, and 2017, each year, real estate is becoming less affordable in the state of Utah. Now, historically, when we look back from 2006 to present, we are still considerably more affordable than what real estate was in 2007 and 2008, 2006. These years, it was more expensive to purchase a home when considering the price of homes in the marketplace, what wages were, and interest rates. Now, given that, how are we nationally, or when we compare about that? And this is great, just a little graph that helps us understand that historically, it has cost an American about 21.6% of their income to own a home. That's the cost of housing in years past. Now, in 2015, it was about 15.1%. In 2016, it was 15.2%. In 2017, we've seen that jump even more so. But this is what's really interesting when we look at basically the past 40 plus years of data and we look at affordability over that period of time. And when we look at just the last 7 or so years, 5 to 6 years, we've experienced the most affordable time in our history of buying real estate. Home prices are more affordable than they've ever been, despite the fact that prices are higher than what we've experienced in the past. So the question is really around affordability and what is the likelihood of things becoming more or less affordable in the near future. I think when we look at the data, there's just kind of this overwhelming amount of information that would suggest that next year and the following years, that in fact real estate will become less affordable rather than more affordable because of the likelihood of prices continuing to go up and the likelihood that interest rates will go up, making this really a very, very good time to buy. So if you're having hesitancy regarding pricing, I would just suggest, unless you're buying with cash or have other motives, if this is a long-term purchase that you're thinking about buying and holding for an extended period of time, I would argue that interest rates and time is on your side and that you're actually in one of the most affordable times, despite many people saying, hey, look, homes are very, very expensive right now. Hey, if you like what you saw or heard today on our little 5-minute market update, please make sure you share this with a friend. Give us a like or give us a comment below. We love to engage with any conversation relative to what you're seeing in your market. And give us an update on what kind of market conditions you are experiencing. Thanks. Enjoy your day.